Okay, everyone, welcome to today's podcast. We're diving into a whole new world of sound for electric vehicles. And for those who have been listening to me and watching from a very long time, I feature the unsung heroes working behind the curtains in the automotive industry, the people who actually make the difference, who make it happen so we can enjoy the finer things of in life and what we sometimes work so hard to achieve. Glydsphere, a cutting edge company, has taken EVs to another level with their custom sound system. You can rev up your silent EV with anything from a roaring Lamborghini engine to a futuristic UFO sound, all at your fingertips. Now, today, we're joined by a key member of the Glydsphere team, and we'll explore how their tech works, why it's essential for EV enthusiasts such as myself, and the magic behind their audio system. Johannes, you're the inventor of the first engine sound system for electric vehicles, EVs. Please do us the honor and let the world know who you really are.
Yeah, hey Chris, thanks so much. Really got a good introduction. I appreciate it. So look, basically, I'm a car enthusiast. Obviously, I worked in the car industry the past 10 years, and what I did is I did sound design, I did sound and sound enhancement, basically. So not this was before electric cars, even for internal combustion engine cars. What I did is you probably know this, and all car companies nowadays do this, especially the premium sports car companies. They play engine sound through the interior speakers to make the whole thing a bit more interesting, to make sporty cars sound more sporty. And as you know, engines, they downsizing the engines like the past decades. You don't have the V8, V12 anymore. Now you get to the six cylinders, you get the four cylinders and so on. And that was basically my job. And I had an old Camaro actually back in Germany, very rare car. And I drove this car as a daily, but it was too old, it was getting too old. I had to get a new car, and I thought, hey, now it's the right time to go electric. I bought a used Tesla in the Netherlands, brought it to Germany because it was the cheapest way to get, at the time, top of the line Model S. And yeah, I named first day in the car. I was missing the sound, obviously. And as I had the background in sound engineering, I just started tinkering like with my laptop, with some prototype software. I built a special speaker because I saw there's like this big trunk in the front of the Tesla, this big storage compartment. And I was like, let's put a guitar amplifier in there, okay? And that's basically what I did. I started building my software, and at some point everything worked. You could accelerate, and the sound changed. I could load different sounds into it. It was really loud on the inside, outside, and I felt, hey, if I can enjoy this, other people can enjoy this too. And that's how I came up with the collection.
Okay, that's a very interesting story because everything starts with an idea, and then we conceptualize it, and then we build on it, and then we make it happen. But a lot of people don't understand the work that goes on into getting things from your mind onto paper and into reality. Now, can you walk us through how the Glydsphere system integrates with EVs and what makes it unique from other solutions that are already there?
Yes, of course. So basically, the idea always was, or the intention, that this system doesn't require any installation. Because I mean, let's be honest, you buy a new Tesla, maybe you lease a Tesla, or you're paying it off, you're financing it. You don't really want to drill any holes. You know what I mean? You don't want to just damage the car. Let's be honest. And the idea behind the whole system is it's completely plug and play. You can actually, and we done this in the past. I done this. You can put this in a rental car, give the car back to the rental company, and the rental company doesn't even know it was in there. So the speaker is basically just placed in the front. It's wireless, but it's real time. We don't use Bluetooth. It's not a Bluetooth speaker. We use a special algorithm called aptX low latency, which allows real time audio transmission wireless. And then there's an app. It's on the Apple and Android App Store. You download it into your phone. Pretty simple. The app runs on a game engine. Because if you think about in a game engine, because of race car games and everything, you already got all the nice sound features you need for this application. And then you just choose whatever sound you want. We got at the moment, we update this regularly. We got over 50 different sound sets, as we call them. We got race cars, we got futuristic stuff, we got movie vehicles. And nowadays, what we're doing is we focus on what the customer asks us, what the customer gives us as feedback. So we talk to the customers, they tell us, hey, we want this sound set, and then we try to make it happen. And we even got the chats in there. Yeah.
Wow. I have your website there, glidesphere.com, running at the bottom. So those who are actually viewing and listening can go to the website to check it out. But you've got 50 plus sound sets. How do you come up with new sounds, and what's been the most popular one so far?
Hey, that's a great question. So when I started the system, I did like the futuristic sound. I want to say like a spaceship, because at the time this was like maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, around 5 years ago. That's what the car industry were doing. If you look at the Porsche Taycan, if you look at BMW, Mercedes AMG, they do the spaceship, the futuristic sounds, because
Yeah.
the idea in the auto industry is, hey, it's not a real car anymore. It's electric. Let's do like a spaceship. And I did the same. I'll be honest. I thought it's pretty cool. And when I put the system, when we released it, when we put it to market, when we got feedback, people came back to us and said, hey, this futuristic stuff is cool, but it's hard to build a connection to it. And people were actually asking for real car sounds, like the real sports cars, the muscle cars, the real engines. And a lot of people were asking like for movie stuff. And we have the feeling that people, they need this connection. So if you look at Star Wars, the Jetsons, obviously there's like spaceship vehicles in there which have very distinctive sounds, and the people already know the sound. They have a picture in their head because they saw the movie, they saw the spaceship. And nowadays we focus more on like movie vehicles and real car engines. We still do the futuristic stuff, but I want to say the focus is more on the real engines and movies and so on. Yeah.
Real, yes, yes, because the EVs are very, 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 very quiet, and there have been reports so far that sometimes people are crossing the street, they don't even know when the car is zooming past them. So, and then again, a lot of people out there, they're constantly on their phones texting, and they are unaware of what is taking place. So there is the technology out there for every single thing, and I'm glad that this technology has come about. Now, EV owners can even create their own custom sounds. So how does this feature work, and what creative ways have you seen users take advantage of this particular feature?
Yeah. So basically, if you look at computer games, if you look at the other car manufacturers, like I earlier mentioned, there's the Porsche Taycan and so on, which has like one sound set. We got 50, by the way. And it's all the principle is always the same. It's basically, they call it loops, audio loops, and those loops are put together by an algorithm, and then you got incoming signals like the car speed, how hard you press the accelerator, the gas pedal, now the accelerator pedal, and those signals calculate. Yeah, there's like an algorithm, and it changes the pitch of the loop. So the pitch goes up, it goes down, because that's basically what a real engine does. The pitch of the sound of the engine goes up and down when you accelerate, and this is also happening in our algorithm, in those game algorithms, and so on. And users actually can, with our setup, we got an online interface. It actually works over Amazon Cloud. In the background, you don't see that, but in the background, Amazon Cloud. You just upload your own loops. So you have to create loops. It's not that you can, unfortunately, we are not there yet. Maybe in the future with AI, it's not like you go outside with your phone, you record a Lamborghini, and you put it in the app and it's there. It's not like that. So you have to do a bit of, let's say, audio editing. You need to cut loops, ideally steady loops that shouldn't be pitch changes. We got a whole video on it, how to do it, like a tutorial. And then you just upload them via our online interface. You see a QR code, you scan the QR code with our app, and then you have your personal sound set in your phone. And what we actually see is, we had customers who actually hired people over Fiverr, like real sound engineers, to make the sounds they wanted. And we also had people who contacted us with like, I don't want to say crazy ideas because it's nice, but they are crazy ideas. We had one person said, can we do like a cat? Can it purr like a cat? and when you accelerate, it changes.
Really?
I was like, yeah. And another person asked, like a whale. You know, whales, they sing underwater. There's like this whale
Right.
singing, and it's like, yeah, hey, let's get creative. Let's do it. In theory, it's possible, but of course, creating those sounds and making it sound good in the car when you accelerate, it's not an easy task. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know that. So you have to constantly be writing and creating new codes in order to get those sounds
Yeah.
sounding the way they want it. So aside from this cool factor that you've obviously explained to us so tremendously, how does adding a sound system impact safety or or the driving experience for EV owners?
I mean, very good question. And you already touched on this question earlier when you mentioned those cars make no sounds, people don't hear them, people are on their phone, like pedestrians. There is actually a law out there that electric cars, especially newer ones, for older, the law for older cars, the law is not in effect, that they need to make a sound to the outside. They call it pedestrian warning or acoustic vehicle alert system,
Yes.
but those are very quiet. And the laws, I mean, the laws say they can be quiet, they can be loud. But for example, if you look at Tesla thought like they said, we don't really like this law. We don't think it makes sense. So they play a sound to the outside. They have a very small speaker on the outside, but you can barely hear it. If you don't know it's there, you don't hear it.
Yes,
But it
that's true.
fulfills the law. It fulfills the law. Our system plays on top of this, which means we are not affecting this law. We are not affecting this mechanism. The safety sound is still there. But of course, with our system, as it's way louder, you hear way more. So in theory, it's safer with our system. But then again, and I just discussed this in detail on another podcast, it's I'm not so sure if this law is really needed, I'll be honest. And I
Mhm.
know from my own work, back when I worked at BMW and so on, it's like 10 years ago, the law came into place because the legacy automakers, they were asking for it. And the
Okay.
intention why they were asking for it, because they were like, what, there's no sound, but sound is so important for us, for our brand. And they wanted to make sounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
they
that's
wanted
why
to
they said,
differentiate their
yeah,
brand from
yeah,
everyone else.
yeah. And that's why they said, but there's the blind people. And actually BMW, when I was there, they made tests with blind people. And yes, it helps. But if you look into statistics, insurance statistics, because like I mentioned earlier, the older models, the older electric cars, they have no sound at all. There were not more accidents or anything. So this whole law, it's a bit questionable. But hey, that's how it is.
Yes, it's always the government will make the laws, and then as time goes by, the manufacturers actually push the envelope to see exactly what they can get out of it,
Yeah,
and they turn around and go back to the bargaining table. And what they do is they threaten the policymakers with job losses and economic factors and
yeah,
everything else. Yeah. So a lot of people don't understand exactly what takes place behind the scene, because as EV adoption grows, now where do you see Glydsphere fitting into the larger automotive
yeah.
landscape in, say, the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah. So basically, we started focusing on Tesla because when we started this, when the development started like around 3 years ago, when we entered the market, Tesla was just the market leader. I mean, they still sell the most electric
Yeah,
cars.
they
Here,
still do.
here,
Yeah.
maybe in Asia it's different, but over here in the US and Europe, that's how it is. And so we focused on them. We did the whole integration for Tesla. Because we also integrate the data with our app. We take data from the car. But since we launched and since we are doing marketing, influencer campaigns and so on, we got videos on YouTube. People reach out to us with all kinds of vehicles. We have people with the electric Harley Davidson asking, "Would this work on my electric Harley Davidson?" We have people like from Australia and India who have the Chinese EVs, like the what is it called? Build Your Dream Seagull. And they're
Yes.
asking, will
The
this
BYD
yeah,
Seagull. Yes. Yeah.
will this work in my car? And I'm like, well, we still have to do it. So our plan is for the next years, get this system integrated in all major EVs out there. And also we want to expand the sound algorithm because like I mentioned earlier, People are asking for the real sound. They want the real engines, the real Ferraris, Lamborghinis. They want the real movie vehicles. So we want to expand the sound algorithm that we can make those sounds as authentic as possible, better than in a computer game. That's the target.
I know, and I know it's going to take a lot of work. So to go down there, I know that Glydsphere have you totally swamped with everything else. Are there other projects you're working on at this point in time?
Yes. So Um, of course, as I come from the automotive industry, from the sound automotive industry, and also with all the experience of from the clients and the feedback we get, because we are really in contact with most of our customers, we really value this feedback and those conversations, and we also think there are other ways to make sounds for electric cars. It doesn't always have to be a speaker and a sound file, because as you know, like purists, real enthusiasts, if you go on Reddit, whatever, they say this is fake, it's not real.
Right.
Yeah, well, but that's why we came up, and I can't go into detail, but all I can say it's a new technology, it's patent pending, and we already talked to high-end sports car makers in Europe, the ones who now have the, who still have the V12s, but of course at some point they will go electric, and we think, and we are convinced they need something real. Like a speaker is probably not the right way, because for them the engine sound is so important. It's such an important part of their brand and of their cars. And that's why we have a new technology. We're working on a prototype, and like I mentioned before, we want to go. We want to advance into other. We want to expand the sound algorithm, and we want to advance into other car manufacturers, implement the system for other car manufacturers, and that's why we started raising money via an equity crowdfunding campaign on the platform called Micro Ventures. And what this basically does, it allows the average public, so everybody, you don't need to be an accredited investor. If you have $100, the minimum is $100. You can put it in there. You can basically buy shares in the company, and we will use this money to expand the audio algorithm, bring the system into more electric cars, not only Tesla, and also work on the prototype of the new technology.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm glad that you put that in, because the thing is, one of the last questions I wanted to ask you is, what advice would you offer to getting funding to launch a business or project such as yours? And you explained micro ventures very well. Are there anything else you want to mention about micro ventures? Could someone like me who want to get into developing something, how do we get about going into micro ventures?
Yeah, very good point. I was actually advised by business advisors and angel investors with my product, because it's a very physical product. It's a sexy product. People understand it. They advised me go the equity crowdfunding route. That's a good
Hmm.
way to get your company funded. But I would advise, like the way you just asked me, Chris, if you got an idea, make an MVP, prototype MVP, whatever you call it. It doesn't need to look good. Just make some, if it's a software, hardware, if it's both, whatever, just do some sort of a prototype where you can show your idea, and then get some feedback from people. And then, if you, of course, you need funding, especially if you want to do a hardware production is always expensive. I mean, software too, but hardware more. That's also why a lot of investors are not so keen about hardware companies. Yeah, then equity crowdfunding, something like micro ventures. There's also other platforms out there. It's really coming big right now, becoming a big thing. I can really recommend it, because you
Okay.
you show your company, you show your product, and then everybody, not only the big investors, the big venture capital firms, everybody has a chance to participate.
Okay, okay, that's very, very, very good to know, because I know a lot of people right now, they want to get out of the so-called rat race
Yeah.
and try to do their own thing. So it's good for us to know exactly where to go and what the processes are. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. So Johannes, again, I can't thank you enough for joining my show. And I know that the audience and those listening on the podcast will actually learn and get a lot more. You can actually make your electric vehicle. It's just a matter, it's not how, it's just a matter of when you'll be getting your electric cars, because electric cars are the cars of the future, whether we like them, yes or no. But now we have the opportunity to have our electric vehicle sound like a Bugatti, a Lamborghini, a Porsche, the car of your dreams that you've always wanted, thanks to Johannes and his crew. Now, Johannes, any last words of encouragement you'd like to share?
Yeah. Hey, if anybody out there listening, and like you just mentioned, Chris, you want to get out of the red race, you want to start your own thing, just do it. Don't think too much about it. Do it. But let me add here. I mean, if you don't have the cure for cancer, the next super AI computer, you need a prototype or something to show your idea. You can't just have an idea and then think you go out there and you get capital, you get funding. You need at least a prototype, MVP as they call it, ideally paying customers, revenue. If you want to be sure to get investment, talk to investors, crowdfunding, angel investors, whatever route you want to go, ideally you got paying customers, you got revenue. That's the name of the game. That's what I learned. Hey,
Okay.
Chris, thanks so much for having me on. And really was a pleasure talking to you. You understand the product, and I'm really happy about it.
Yes, I will. I've worked in the automotive industry for over 20 years, so mostly in parts, but I hang around a lot of guys who are basically mechanics. And I know, Johannes, you and your crew, you're working to make our lives much more enjoyable. As I always say, engineers build, mechanics maintain what the world and all of us actually take for granted. As usual, everyone, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if anyone wants to reach out to Johannes, please share with us if they want to get in touch with you, if they want to get your project, contribute to your project on micro ventures. How could they go about getting it done?
Yeah. So please don't hesitate. Just go on to glydsphere.com. You can on our website. You can see our product. You can contact us. There's a contact form. There's even a phone number. You can reach me. And there's a link. The link is also on the screen, but also on our website on glydsphere.com. There's a button called Invest. If you click it, it directs you to the microventure offering page. And microventure, they have great support. If there's anything unclear, you can contact them. Also call them. They call you, and it's super easy, super simple, super straightforward. And please, if you have any ideas for my business, for my product, I would really appreciate it. Don't hesitate. Just reach out to me directly over the website contact form. There's also an email there. Yeah, I would really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you again. And everyone, Johannes, the first EV sound system. And go to glideshare.com to check them out, and you'll see all the various features there. And as usual, again, please share your feedback. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Party Manager Guide. Please smash that like button on your way out. It will only take you 1.5 seconds to do so. Until next time, when we bring someone else for you to learn more of what is going on in the auto world. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.